What's up everyone, John here with Motivation Theory Running, here to talk about it again. China's banning of ultramarathons and extreme sports. It has caused quite an uproar in the ultra running community and the extreme sports community on something that is a very touchy subject. 21 lives were lost, and no one wants to really discount that. No one wants to make that seem like it's not that big of a deal, that there shouldn't be any kind of regulation, that there shouldn't be any overreach by the government into these kind of private type events that people willingly go into. And I think that's where this kind of weird situation happens between folks who believe in kind of personal liberty, and that we make a decision as folks that do ultra events or extreme sports that there is an inherent risk that everyone accepts when they go into an event that is potentially dangerous. But I think the difference here is negligence versus taking on extreme risk for an individual. So when I go into an ultra marathon, I'm taking on the inherent risk of getting my body from one point to the other, whether it's 100 miles, 50 miles, 60 miles, whatever it is. I'm taking on that personal risk to my health and anything else like that. But what I'm expecting with that when I enter a race is the contract that they will hold up their end and providing a safe environment, meaning the aid stations will be where they say they're going to be, that they will offer food, aid, water, the gear that I give them and tell them to put there. Like, that's part of the contract. That's kind of a business contract. And I don't think we can discount China trying to maybe shore that part up of the situation. Now, I don't agree with any kind of government dictating personally the risk that individuals can take for themselves. I believe we can all make that decision for ourselves. If we want to jump off buildings, base jump, do the flying suits and things like that. Like, I don't agree with that. I wouldn't personally do it, but I don't want to tell someone else they can't do it. I mean, that's where the line is being drawn here. I know a lot of you are out there passionate about not having a government tell you what to do when it comes to that type of thing. And I don't think any of us want the government dictating what we can participate in and them starting to kind of come out with guidelines of what they think is an acceptable risk for a human. Now, China being a communist country may operate a lot different than the States. Other countries may operate differently. I know a lot of countries in the UK and things like that have a lot stricter rules with mandatory equipment and things like that you have to have required to be on you to participate in events. And I don't have a huge problem with that. Like, if I go to a race and they say you need to have A, B, C, D, and F, that's fine. It's their race. They're hosting it. They're trying to mitigate risk for themselves, whether it's through insurance, safety of their people. They don't want to have to put people at risk because you're dumb and don't prepare for a race. I've done search and rescue. I'm very aware of the dangers of being out in remote areas and trails and things like that. It's not something to be taken lightly. So I know everyone's super passionate about China doing this and that how it could potentially spread across the entire sport. Because races now, when someone goes to get insurance, or if they're a company that puts on races, the question may be now, what are you doing to make sure that we don't have an event like what happened in China? And that's a fair question, especially if you're offering and you're trying to do kind of a risk analysis, risk assessment for the cost of insurance and things like that. I think we all should just kind of pause and try to understand what's trying to be accomplished there. Now, I know there's a lot of stuff that's going on with China, and I know that a lot of people have a lot of passions about China not really doing well with kind of dealing with respecting humans and life. That's completely separate than this. I don't want to kind of conflate the two, the political side of all of this. I want to kind of just deal with the event that happened, the response to it, which I think would be probably the same anywhere. If the United States, Western States 100 had a freak weather event that severely injured or killed a lot of folks, there would be a lot of questions coming up. And we all know exactly what would happen if that happened. So while I completely agree that I don't want government overreach, I don't want the governments reaching into telling us what we can and can't do and what's safe and what's not safe. This is a weird freak thing, and I'm hoping for the best. I'm a very positive person. I'm hoping that China will do an investigation. They will come up with some standards possibly. And again, I don't know how their government works exactly. They could appoint somebody over top of it, and who knows what's going to happen. But I would love to get to a point where, China's able to kind of do the things they want to do. Because I know how I would feel if all of a sudden you can't do the things you love to do. And we just went through a year of that. COVID hit, and we were told we couldn't run. We were told we couldn't run outside. We couldn't do this. And the races could only have this amount of people. We've been told this. We've had something very similar happen to all of us. How we get back to normal is up to us. And I think there's a lot of work that could be done there in safety. I think in all of these events, again, can't mitigate all risk. You can't. You just can't. But you can do the best you can. And like I said, as somebody who's done search and rescue, it's just smart. It's smart to have some regulations around some best practices and things to keep people safe. Not to tell them what they can do and what they can't do, but the companies who put on these events to make sure that they're going to do their part, hold up their part of the contract. If they say they're going to have, cold weather gear and emergency aid at an aid station, that they will do it, that they won't take shortcuts to save money or because it's hard. They will make sure that folks will be safe. And that's the point of all of this. I understand everyone's point of view on this. I don't think anybody's wrong on this. People have concerns with being told what to do. Not wrong. People who think there should be a lot of change to help mitigate the issues, you're not wrong. The answer's in the middle, and I hope we move forward and everyone will find a way to just get back to racing in China, and that hopefully this doesn't kind of spread to other places, kind of overregulation and kind of getting to the part where I think most people have an issue. It's a terrible tragedy. My heart goes out to China and the Chinese folks who've lost family members in this, and to their running community. It breaks my heart for the running community and all of those affected by that, because I just can't even imagine what they're going through right now. So from me to you, I'm sorry what happened, and I hope you all can get back to racing. To everyone, click right here, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. As always, run, rest, repeat. If you want some of the shirts, my merch is down in the description. You can click any of the links down below. It'll take you to stuff I love. Talk to you soon. Later.